George. Once upon a time, in a poor countryside, there was an old woodcutter couple named Leo. Though already advanced in age, they still had no children. Day and night they worried and only tried to do more good deeds, clearing drains, digging canals, repairing roads, cleaning wells, and boiling water for travelers in hopes that heaven might bless them with a child. Soon after, the wife became pregnant, but 3 years passed and she still had not given birth. At that time, Leo fell ill and died. Only then did his wife give birth to a handsome baby boy and named him George. A few years later, she too passed away. From then on, George lived alone in a small hut under a banyan tree, with nothing but a loincloth and a woodcutter's axe. When he turned 13, the Jade Emperor sent a heavenly being down to teach him martial arts and many divine powers. One day, a wine seller named Finn passed by and stopped to rest. Seeing that George was strong, talented, and often therefore easy to take advantage of, Finn suggested they become sworn brothers and took George home. At that time, a monstrous serpent spirit roamed the land, devouring people. Many attempts were made to kill it, but the creature possessed powerful magic. Unable to subdue it, the king ordered a shrine built and demanded that each year one person be offered to it. That year, it was Finn's turn to be sacrificed. Terrified, he and his mother plotted to send George to die in his place. When George returned from cutting wood that evening, Finn offered him wine and said, "Today I was assigned by the court to guard the serpent's shrine. But I have a batch of wine brewing at home and cannot leave it unattended. Please take my shift for just one night." Naively trusting his sworn brother, George agreed. At midnight, in the dense and cold forest, the snake appears, raised its head, breathed fire, and rushed towards him. Calmly, George used his divine powers to battle the monster. After a long struggle, he slew the beast, which turned back into an enormous snake. He cut off its head and brought it home. At the third watch, Finn and his mother heard a knock on the door, thinking it was the ghost of Thach-san coming for revenge. After much trembling and praying, they opened the door. Only then did George realize their plot, but being kind-hearted, he did not blame them and happily recounted how he had slain the serpent. Finn then devised another wicked plan. He told George the serpent was sacred to the king and that killing it was a capital crime. Pretending to help, he advised George to flee. Believing him, George returned to his hut at the banyan tree, while Finn hurried to the capital to claim credit and was rewarded with the title of general. Later, the king's daughter announced she would choose a husband, but none pleased her. One day, while walking in the royal garden, she was suddenly captured by a giant eagle. The eagle flew across the banyan tree where George was sitting. Seeing it, he shot an arrow, wounding its wing, but the creature continued flying. George followed the trail of blood to a fortified cave, marked the entrance, and went back. When news spread that the princess had vanished, the king was devastated. He sent Finn to find her, promising to give him the princess and the throne if he succeeded. Finn held a 10-day festival to gather rumors, but found nothing. Hearing that Finn had been awarded a title and was holding a celebration party, George came to visit and innocently told the story of shooting the eagle earlier. Overjoyed, Finn ordered soldiers to follow George to the cave. George volunteered to enter the cave alone. There, he found the princess and guided her while the eagle slept. Taking that opportunity, he let her hold on to the rope and signaled Finn to go out and pull her up. But when George was preparing to climb out, Finn ordered the cave entrance sealed. The eagle awakened, furious at losing the princess. It roared, shaking the cave, but George fought bravely and finally killed it. Searching deeper, he found a metal cage containing a young Mantha, Prince of the Sea King, held captive for nearly a year. George shot open the cage with his golden bow and rescued him. The grateful prince invited him to the underwater palace, where the Sea King lavished treasures upon him. George refused all wealth, accepting only a magical lute before returning home. Meanwhile, the spirits of the slain serpent and eagle wandered hungry and miserable. Meeting each other, they plotted revenge. They sneaked into the king's treasury, stole jewels, and placed them at George's hut. George was arrested. As for the princess, since returning from the cave, she had been mute with grief after seeing Finn seal the entrance. Despite month-long ceremonies, she remained silent. While imprisoned, Thatch San sorrowfully played his magic lute. To his surprise, the instrument sang out the entire story, revealing Finn's treachery and lamenting the princess's silence. Its melodies echoed through the palace, Titch Titch Tan Tang, who brought the princess back from the cave below. Hearing the lute, the princess suddenly smiled, laughed, and pleaded with the king to summon the musician. George was brought forth, and before all the court officials, he recounted his life being orphaned, learning divine arts, befriending Finn, slaying the serpent, shooting the eagle, rescuing the princess, being trapped in the cave, saving the Sea King's prince, and being falsely accused. The king ordered the arrest of Finn and his mother, giving George full right to judge them. Out of mercy, he spared their lives, sending them back to their village. But on the way, a thunderstorm struck, and both were killed by lightning. Soon after, the king married his daughter to George. The news angered the princes of 18 neighboring kingdoms, who had once sought her hand. Enraged that the princess married a poor woodcutter, they raised armies against the kingdom. George led the defense. On the battlefield, he played his magic harp again. Its melodies stirred deep emotions, making soldiers miss their homes, parents, and loved ones until none wished to fight. Terrified, the princes surrendered. George then served them a single small pot of rice. Miraculously, no matter how much they ate, it never emptied. Awed by his powers, they bowed and returned home in peace. The king abdicated, giving the throne to George. His first acts as ruler were to abolish taxes, grant amnesty, and encourage farming. From then on, the people lived in peace and prosperity, and the land flourished.